Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. And without you guys, this would be nothing. And it's nice to see that one of the giant trolls are not the first ones to get up here on the stream. Hi, Bleed Blue. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope everybody is feeling good. If you're not, you must not have been hearing the news on our Dallas Cowboys. Wow. What a difference 2 weeks makes. I got to tell you, it's freaking incredible because you remember going into the preliminary hearing, how Zeke Elliott's counsel thought, we don't stand a chance. And they were right as far as the appeal to with Harry Henderson went. But they were active, and here's the thing that's interesting. Because a lot of the talking heads first who said that, oh, well, the courts may not even take this up. But I told you guys yesterday, I said that the courts will take it in Texas. Everybody kept saying, you don't know Jack. How do you know? I said, just trust me. I know some people. I've been hearing some things. And that's what I believed that was going to happen. And that's why I put it out there. And I never put out anything out there that I don't have something to back it up with. Now, the same people who said that he was going to be suspended are now saying, well, it's a done deal. Sooner or later, he's going to get this suspended and have to deal with it. But I'm not so sure about that. Because the difference being is, in the other cases that have been out there, they were heard in New York City. New York City, the place you don't want to buy salsa from, and the place that you also don't want to have a decision from the NFL as well. Because that court system leans towards the NFL. They have in every case. It's just like Harold Henderson. Harold Henderson is a VP of the NFL before. If you think that he was going to go ahead and mess those guys up, that wasn't going to happen. But the difference is the wording from the court system. Basically, they scathed the NFL. Basically, they said that, you know what, you guys are biased. This was not a thorough, true hearing here. Basically, it's a kangaroo court. So, with that being said, and it being heard there in Texas, not in New York, his odds got a hell of a lot better than had it been kicked to New York. So, from that standpoint, we might be in really, really good shape here. But we won't have to worry about it for this year. It's going to take months before it actually gets to the court system. And it'll probably be over the summer or maybe even next year before it's actually heard. So we can kind of put that on the shelf for now. Zeke's going to be here on Sunday. He's going to eat. And the NFL season, guys, it's here. Game number 1 is in the books. And I really love what happened. The experts out there, they always want to act like they know exactly what's going on. They're going to tell you this, that, and the other and how it's going to be. And I loved watching the pregame on the NFL Network. Heath Evans, the guy who you love to hate because everything is about when I played for New England and when I played for New Orleans. And it's like, dude, shut the F up, man. Everything he says is so biased, it's not even funny. But as they were talking, they kept talking about, all the talking heads are saying, the Miami Dolphins are worried that the New England Patriots could go undefeated. With the firepower that they brought in already with Tom Brady and everything else, they're going to be unstoppable. Yeah. You guys couldn't get the first game right. So what I always tell you guys is, when you watch stuff on TV, yeah, it's great. Doesn't mean jack. Nobody really knows. They're just making an educated guess at best. And that loss goes to show it. Now, I tell you that I believe that Tom Brady is hitting the wall. A lot of people say, no, that's not it. Tom Brady just won the Super Bowl, man. He's great. He is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. But, yeah. But Father Time is undefeated. And football players can get old overnight. And it was always so funny to me when people talked about, say, RG3. Oh, RG3, he was Rookie of the Year in 2013, man. Sign that guy. And I said, yeah, but you know what? Last year don't mean jack this year. And it's gone to prove that he had lost it. But quarterbacks get old literally overnight. Look at Peyton Manning. 2013, 55 touchdown passes. 7 touchdown passes in one game to start the season. But come 2015 season, couldn't stay healthy and had a total of 9 touchdown passes. A mere shell of himself. He literally dropped off the face of the earth. That's what happens. Tom Brady's 40 years old. And he's got a few injuries on that team. Oh, and he does have that Madden curse. Now, he does benefit from having the weakest conference in the NFL. I mean, you got Miami, which sometimes is okay. The Jets, they've been a mess for who knows how long now, you know. And then, of course, you got Buffalo. So, you know, they're going to be okay. They're going to make the playoffs just by default, you know, because of their division. But I'm not sure that they're going to be the dominant team that everybody said that they're going to be, that nobody's going to stand a chance. And there's a couple other teams out there I think they're going to do the same thing. Atlanta is another one that I think is not going to be that good. Even though they were in the Super Bowl, they're going to have that Super Bowl hangover. I'm not so sure that Green Bay is going to be that great. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But anyway, Zeke is free. Zeke is going to eat. Almost our whole team is healthy. And I believe they are completely focused on this game. You've got everybody quiet. We're not the New York Giants that are just talking, trying to convince ourselves that we're so great that, you know, we don't have to worry about Zeke or anything like that. Our team, I believe, has a chip on their shoulders. They know they're not going to get any breaks from the NFL. The talking heads aren't going to give them any credit. It's just the way it is. So, with that mentality, I'm hoping that these guys go ahead and say, you know what? It's us against the world. We are truly black sheep. But we're going to go out there and we're going to be the best team in the NFL this year. So before I get going some other stuff, let me say hello to everybody who is in here tonight. And I know there's a lot of you. And I want to thank you guys for all showing up. I want to thank you guys for all the support. Because without you guys, this channel would be nothing. So Bleed Blue, Cool Boys 05, Cheesy Badass, Matt, how you doing? Jason, Colton, Steve, Extreme Archery, Cool Boys, Just Call Me Charles, King of the North, like that one. Backwater Mafia, okay. I'm scared of that one. Boomer Sooner, how about them Cowboys? How you doing tonight? How about them Cowboys? You're doing a lot of work on your channel and stuff, man. It's looking good. Clay Coates, Robert, Dave Wood. Oh, Daniel. There's Daniel. Daniel, I can't believe you weren't the first one on tonight, man. What's up with that, man? I just want to know, if the Giants lose, will we see you after the game? That's all I want to know. If the Giants lose, will you still show up just as strong? Cowboys Abroad, how you doing tonight, man? Fresh 914, Jeff Foreman, X Factor, Story Landing, Robert, another Rob. There's Sarah. How you doing tonight, Sarah? You are always faithful. Tamira, Zachary, Average Show. And if I butcher up your name, forgive me. It's what I do, man. I don't have my glasses on. The monitor is so far in front of me here, it's hard to actually see all that stuff. And I'm just not that bright. Capital City Music Man, Robert, Cool Boys, Colton Davis, Robert, Jesus, Boomer, Dallas Cowboy for life, Danny, Steven, Sandman. How you doing tonight, Sandman? Haitian Pride, Daz, Josh Norman. Oh, okay. So you got to the Josh Norman commercial already. Yeah, actually, it was pretty funny. Dez Bryant has one that comes out, I think, on the 14th, which is a response to that. So At least they're all getting paid. Marcelo, what's up? The Dallas Cowboys is what's up. Their stock right now is going up big time because we're going to have Zeke Elliott all season. Zeke is free, Christian. What's good, Jay? The Dallas Cowboys. Nelson, Robert, Matt, Cyberlink, Wade, Levi Money, Fresh 914, Roy. Wow, we got all kinds of people in here. Mr. Chips, how you doing tonight? Rob Bird, Tony. Let's see some of these questions here. Oh, geez. Thank you, Kyle. Joe Boo definitely needs the refill. As we all do. It's been crazy. When you think about where we have been going and what's been happening with this team, I think we can even pull out Joe Boo's cigar here tonight, too, because we definitely going to need one of those for this weekend. Get that good old Cuban cigar for him. Ooh, boy. Joe Boo, there you go, my man. It's been crazy. Between some of the injuries we've had, between the Zeke Elliott situation, it didn't look good for our team there for a while. When you started thinking about the suspensions, the injuries, and so on, we, of course, lost Hitchens for probably about 6 or 8 weeks, but it wasn't season ending. Tyrone Crawford is back, and they're really trying to coach him up and get him ready to go. His shoulder is doing really good. His ankle is doing really good. So he's going to be part of the rotation. Having Zeke Elliott, that's huge. And it's just like all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it seems like everything just dropped into place right now. And I feel fantastic about it. I'm looking forward to this game. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. But I think in the end, when the dust settles, I think we got a chance to be there for the playoffs and see what we see. My biggest concern is not the players on the field. It's actually coaching, but hopefully, Jason Garrett and crew get it together for the season. I'm praying that we do, because we have enough talent on the field that if we stay healthy, that there's no reason why we can't be one of the best teams in football. One of the interesting things that came out today is when you start thinking about Dak Prescott. Thank God for endorsements, because Dak literally is making peanuts. And I know $600,000 is a lot of money to me. If I was making $600,000 a year, you would see me at every single Dallas Cowboy game. Without a doubt. We would have the biggest tailgate parties out there. I mean, I'd invite everybody. So don't get me wrong on that one. I'm not trying to say $600,000 is not much money. But when compared to other quarterbacks out there, do you know Matthew Stafford in 10 minutes will make the same thing that Dak Prescott will make all year? Think about that. Matthew Stafford only has to play for 10 minutes to make the same money that Dak Prescott does. Now, you telling me the system is right. Unfortunately, the NFLPA, when they did the last collective bargaining agreement, had the veterans basically come up with the plans for it. Don't get me wrong. They did some really good things, because when you started looking at like guys like Sam Bradford that are coming out of college and getting $60 million, there was something wrong with that. A guy who hadn't played on the field getting that kind of money, when veterans basically are getting scraps. I get that. So they came up with the whole slotted system. Well, okay, that's great if you are showing up well in the draft. But you're getting that money if you're a high draft pick for 4 years. But what about the guy who, like Dak Prescott, who outplays his contract, who outplays everybody else that was drafted in his draft, but is still stuck with that puny contract for 4 years. And when you think about the NFL having basically about a 3-year life expectancy, you don't make that money up. Some cases you will, but most cases you won't. So there almost needs to be a way when you outperform it that you can kind of say, hey, this needs to be reworked. We need to get some major bonus here. Because there's something wrong with Matthew Stafford playing for 10 minutes, making the same amount of money that Dak Prescott does. I'm just saying. But fortunately, everybody wants Dak Prescott, and he's got all kinds of endorsements out there. And it looks like we've got Law Nation joining us in the house, guys. And let me get to him. All right. Hold on, my man. TV's warming up. So we got Law Nation that's going to be joining us here right now. And if you guys do not know who Law Nation is, please come out from under the rock that you're hiding, because Law Nation is one of the best YouTubers out there, and I'm truly blessed to be able to have him on the Joe Boo Sports Report. Law Nation, can you hear me tonight?
Yeah, man, you're loud and clear, man. I can hear you.
Okay. And, we have no picture of you. Law is in the process of moving, so we may not get a picture with him tonight. I've got no video feed of you.
Yeah, the actual the camera went out again on my end. So
okay.
You just probably have the actual just the voice today.
Well, you know what? The ladies just love the voice anyway, so that's all you really need. So, guys, welcome Law Nation into the house tonight, man. Law, can you believe what the Texas federal courts ended up doing with Zeke Elliott, man?
Yeah, the case itself, I was reading some of the documents that the actual judge kind of threw everything out, basically said the NFL ruling is just unfair altogether collectively. They're not able to even collectively bargain this decision.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I was saying to a lot of people, because, you know, I love listening to the Talking Heads, and everybody gets on me about watching First Take. It's like, man, why you watch First Take? I said, because I enjoy catching these fools in their mistakes. And, you know, they kept saying that, oh, Zeke Elliott just needs to shut up and take this suspension and everything else. He can't win this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting here looking at what, like you were saying, looking at what the courts were saying, and they basically said the NFL just screwed you. If that's my interpretation is correct, they're basically lambasting the NFL, and with it not being in New York, which is very friendly to the NFL, Zeke Elliott could walk away and win this thing.
Yeah, he can walk away scot-free, you know. So,
well, and we're pretty much not going to have to worry about it for this season, at least. You know, it's going to take months for this thing to get heard about. You know, just because the federal courts take up a case doesn't mean you're going to hit a hearing next week. It takes some time to get this stuff together. So that'll definitely be pushed off into the future. Looking around on our team, pretty much everybody is healthy with the exception of Lewis and, of course, Hitchens. What do you think the team feels like right now, knowing that we've got Zeke and this is behind us at this moment?
Well, for one, it shuts up the talking heads. But I really think that even with Zeke or without Zeke, Dak Prescott was still going to show up to, Sunday night. So, but you adding Zeke to it is kind of like the cherry on the top to me. So I'm just ready for this football game to come out. Oh. And we all saw what happened to old man Tom Brady the other day. You know,
it brings up the Madden curse. But before I get to that, Tornado Tim. Thank you for trying to keep up with the channel and all that. He lives in Florida and has been preparing for the Hurricane Irma. Man, dude, if you're in the way of that thing, man, batten the hatches, man. Be careful and don't risk anything, man. This storm is going to be no joke, man. I want to make sure you're here for the show as well as for all your family and stuff. So prayers and shout outs to everybody in Florida, everybody in Houston. You know, be safe out there. But yeah, the team I think is definitely gonna be ready. But I agree with you that I think that with or without Zeke, with that offensive line, I think we're gonna be ready to rock and roll, even if it ended up being Darren McFadden or Alfred Morris or even Smith. I feel good about the running situation for our team. That's not my biggest worry with that offensive line.
No, indeed. Anybody behind that offensive line. Not saying that we said that in 2015, but anybody behind the offensive line with the collective mind of Dak Prescott,
that helps.
Going to be okay.
But even in 2015, though, Darren McFadden was fourth in the league in rushing, and I think we were, fourth in the league in rushing, and I think our team was sixth in the league in rushing, and that's without a quarterback.
Yeah, but this is the stupidity and the stubbornness of the coaching staff. They kind of went with the Rand. What's that guy name?
Brandon Whedon, or you mean
Joseph Randall, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or John Randall, Joseph Randall, right? That was his name, right?
Yeah, that's one of those
names.
And
the draws.
Yeah, they better not even speak in here.
They was adamant of starting him, and then from there they was adamant of starting the other guy that they got from the Seahawks. Got his name. Not Turbin, but the other guy.
Oh, God, yeah. Came in, played a few games, and then we cut him again, and he went back to Seattle. Basically had a cup of coffee.
They said, well, we're going to put Darren McFadden out there.
Yeah. But we'll leave 2015 there on the shelf. But I'm looking forward to this one. What'd you think about the Josh Norman commercial?
Oh, man. I like it when it's authentic, when they with the battering of them going back and forth. But now that it's kind of scripted a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like that much of it, I just like it when it's authentic, But if they want to earn $1, they need to make money. I heard you was talking about Dak Prescott and his salaries and this sort of thing, and what happens if he outperformed the salary. But we all know when any quarterback plays for the Cowboys and he's performing well, that he's going to make more money than his contract can ever dream of.
Yeah, Curtis. Yeah, I don't make 600K a year. Okay, not unless you're counting in pennies, buddy. I wish I made 600K a year, because I tell you what, you wouldn't see me working a day job if I had that kind of cheddar. But yeah, Christine Michael, that's who it is. Thank you,
right.
J-Mac. It was Christine Michael. Yeah, Christine Michael came in and kind of had a few games and stuff. We let him go, but yeah, it was nobody spectacular. But yet they were still able to run the ball effectively. It's just we didn't have a quarterback. Now, the thing that I always like to think about here, and most people don't talk about this, when you have Stephen A. Smith talking about how the Dallas Cowboys, it's been 22 years since they won a Super Bowl, and they're an accident waiting to happen. Well, that whole argument is a crock of crap, because there's a lot of teams over the last 22 years that haven't won a Super Bowl. I mean, you can go down the list of about 20 teams that haven't won a Super Bowl in the last 20 years. So are all those failures?
Right.
Are all those teams that are accidents waiting to happen? But but here's the thing that's interesting, because I did this comparison in a video, a few weeks back. Take the last 5 years of the NFC East. The Cowboys are the only one with a winning record. The Cowboys are the only one that haven't replaced a coach. And we've won the division twice in the last 3 years. So when you look at how usually the teams, like the Redskins came up and won basically out of default. The Eagles ended up winning those. The Giants actually haven't won the division since 2011 when they went to the Super Bowl. Just saying. The Cowboys have been the most consistent team over the last 5 years in the NFC East. And had Tony Romo not gotten hurt, we probably would have done pretty well, I would think, in the 2015 season.
One game away.
Yeah, so, man, with that, you got some good information there.
Yeah. And most people, you don't hear that. You just always hear about, the Cowboys failed. And it's so funny. It's so funny that First Take decided to go to Dallas today. Did you realize that?
Right. Reaching for ratings.
I mean, seriously. And Stephen A. Smith, I guarantee you when he goes home at night and says his prayers, one of the people he thanks are the Dallas Cowboys, because without the Dallas Cowboys, who care about them?
Right.
He knows. He literally, crazy, Michael Irvin, I have a video that Michael Irvin was basically saying, the only reason why your show is popular is because of the Dallas Cowboys. Because people love them and people hate them, and you're talking about them and you're winning both directions. And that's what they all realize. All these shows realize if we talk bad about the Cowboys, we're going to get ratings. But I'm here to tell you that I feel like the Cowboys this year are becoming the perfect storm.
Oh yeah, it's up for grabs, man. I'm looking at how other teams are looking during the preseason. So hopefully, even if we can average at 31 points a game, it's over with. It's over.
Definitely, and that's going to be key. But I think our defense will be better than what everybody's talking about. Everybody's got the doom and gloom that the Cowboys defense isn't going to be able to do anything. There's no name people and stuff out there, yada yada yada. But I'm like, okay. I've been hearing this from you guys since 2013 when our defense was the worst defense in the NFL. But steadily every year as Rod Martinelli has started to get guys that fit his system, they've been creeping down bit by bit by bit. We saw flashes of them playing really well for a while there that, number one against the run. I mean, that's skewed, of course, because teams are passing more trying to keep up with this. But the defense has slowly been getting better. They just had brain farts against Aaron Rodgers. And I think with the players that he now has on the defensive line are his kind of guys to coach up.
Yeah, the one or two guys that was missing. And now I think that he got several guys, a plethora of guys that can just make something happen. And with this particular running attack, can set up the defense. Not saying that you want the defense to be out there long because they can't get exposed in that light. But as long as you got a good run team, the defense is going to look good this year.
Yeah. Now, how do you think the Giants feel right about now? They thought that they weren't going to face Zeke Elliott and thought they were going to have the full complement of guys, and now all of a sudden they're kind of beat up. They've got a lot of guys that weren't practicing or that are nicked up, and Odell will probably play, but you have to wonder, A, are they risking him for more time being out with that ankle, and B, how effective will he be since he hasn't been able to practice for 3 weeks, 4 weeks now?
Right, and people fail to realize when you scout Odell, the plays that he makes is cut and slants, So you can't do that much on an ankle. Maybe he can run a vertical route, but, Byron Jones of the worlds, and even you can throw a Jeff Heath out there. If they playing deep and he trying to run vertical, then that's pick six or that's picks and that's interceptions all day because he's not going to have that explosiveness that you're looking for. Maybe he can run some gimmick plays to throw off the defense, but that's not going to work for 60 snaps,
Well, here's what I was actually surprised as I started looking through these numbers and stuff, and I really wish I had more time. I truly wish I could do this full time because I just enjoy looking at numbers. I'm kind of a stat geek, and looking at different patterns and stuff. But the Giants threw the ball 62% of the time. Think about that. 62% of the time. No wonder Eli is such a turnover machine. If you are that one-dimensional, you're screwed. And I don't see that changing much this year with the running game that they have. They've got nobody back there. Flowers is a liability on that offensive line, and I'm hoping the Cowboys try to exploit that. I honestly believe that regardless of some of these guys like Sims and all that saying that they're a Super Bowl favorite and the third best team in the NFL, I think they're going to have a hard time making 8-8.
Yes, indeed. But as soon, you know how it is with this NFL and talking heads. As soon as the Giants fall, then the Eagles rise, and everybody's saying that the Eagles are the best team. And then as soon as they fall,
then it'll be the Redskins.
The Redskins. And they don't want to say it's the Cowboys.
No, the Redskins, I believe, are going to be in the basement. I actually think the Eagles are going to be second, and I think we've got a good shot to be repeat champions. And I know people, it's hard to do that in the NFC East. Nobody's done it since the 2003-2004 Eagles have been repeat back-to-back champions in the NFC East. It's just that hard. And it's going to be a tall task. But I feel like the Cowboys have the best team roster-wise. If they get a little bit of luck, get the ball to bounce the right way, I think that they're going to be okay. But, it's football. As New England proved, everybody thought New England was king shit, could go 17-0 and win another Super Bowl, and they were already punching the tickets and putting the name on the trophy. But Kansas City had none of that last night. I'm just amazed that when I watched that game, Tom Brady, he missed that out way off. Gronkowski looked kind of lost and slow. He dropped a short touchdown. And I'm not sure the New England Patriots are as good as advertised.
Well, yeah. Now you start spending all that big money out there on these free agencies,
Hmm.
it still sometimes come back to bite you. Now the other
Yeah,
thing too as well, what they fail to realize is that coach, I forgot his name for the Chiefs. They used to coach for the Eagles. What's his name?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. He's a good coach, man. Hey, I was glad that the Eagles got rid of him and got Chip Kelly.
But
That's been a blessing for us for a long time.
but see, here's what's interesting because if you look at the Eagles, Andy Reid was always good. They were always in the playoffs or always winning the division and everything else until he decided we can't get over that hump and win the Super Bowl and things like that. We need to go out and we need to sign free agents. And that's the year they went out and they signed like Namdi. They got Vince Young in there, and they were the quote unquote dream team.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the worst season of Andy Reid's career. And to me, it seems like every time a team goes out there and goes free agent happy, it takes time for those guys to gel together, and it never seems to work. The only situation that I can see that has ever worked where free agents came in and they won a Super Bowl was Denver.
Right.
Other than that, look at the Redskins that forever tried bringing in the biggest names. They've always been the offseason champions. Yet, when Stephen A. Smith talks about the accident waiting to happen, I got to tell you, it's really the Washington Redskins. I mean, they are the Cleveland East of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And they have forever been getting the big name free agents year after year after year, but it never seems to work. So you have to wonder if New England all of a sudden got away from what got them there consistently good, now brought in all these new guys, all of a sudden, maybe that shit implodes.
Yeah. Well, when I look back at everything, it might explode on their face trying to get multiple big splashes.
Mhm.
Now, my rule of thumb is just get that one guy. You don't supposed to go out there and get two or three.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see? Did you watch the game last night? The Chiefs versus New England.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah, I watched the first.
Did you watch that touchdown catch by the quote unquote ex basketball player that played now?
Yeah, and I was thinking about Rico.
That's supposed to be Rico right there, but this staff here that's my only thing with this staff. We kind of fall in love with the players, and we don't allow the other players to just get out there.
Yeah, well, Rico is still dealing with the whole concussion thing, and he's on injured reserve. So, and that's honestly no joke because I had a couple people saying, "What do you mean he's on injured reserve? He's just got a concussion." It's like, yeah, well, believe it or not, some of these guys end up having concussions that just don't go away. My man from The Blind Side, God, his name escapes me right now. Played with Baltimore, and then he went to, I want to say Miami. He basically was out of football. He was on the protocol for over a year with severe concussions and headaches and things like that. So it can be pretty serious. Now, I'm kind of surprised that one real big hit, because he didn't play football since 8th grade, knocked him out. But some people are more susceptible to than others. But I would love to see him on the field right now.
Oh. They did have to save his spot too, because if they let him go,
I agree. They have to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're saying Michael Orr is the guy.
That's it. Michael Orr. And he's basically out of football, and his head is really, really screwed up from the concussion stuff. It's really no joke. I was actually happy they were talking about the helmets I was talking about before that are like a car bumper instead of them being hard plastic. Where you always hear that thunk. They're actually actually will move and warp and twist and really absorb the shocks like a bumper will, and hopefully that maybe will be the magic bullet that helps to cut down on some of these concussions and things, because these injuries are killing the game when you start losing guys left and right, your stars and things. But But the biggest thing, and kind of surprised, and I'm scared and a little bit worried about, is Jaylon Smith starting.
Well, he's gonna have to start one day, right? So we throw him out in the water. Hopefully, he can get his playing legs up under him. If they trust him out there, and this team, reason why I feel like they trust him a little bit more than the other, is because this team is not a good running threat team. So maybe he can throw him out there, and he can make some things happen.
Yeah, I got Jason over here said that he's had 14 concussions in his life. It has post-concussion syndrome, and there ain't no joke. I'll be honest. I know I've had several. I can't tell you how many I've had because we didn't, back in Nathaniel days when I played, it was basically, get up off the ground and get back out on the field. And, you know, I remember a couple of times that I could turn my head and feel my brain wasn't turning with the rest of my head. Or, you know, we used to always joke about the blue dots are seeing birds, and you do literally see blue spots in your eyes. Fortunately now, at least the NFL does do the whole testing and stuff. They've got a person out there spotting and looking at film and stuff and guys in the field to see how they react, trying to make it safer. And hopefully they're going to start doing a better job with it. But, yeah, I'm with you. I feel for you, Jason, because it is no joke.
Curtis saying leather helmets, Mark. Leather helmets.
Yeah, well, I was just after the leather helmet stopped, okay? We actually had the hard plastic one, smart ass. How many for Dak? I don't know if you heard me earlier on talking about Dak Prescott, and thank God he's got endorsements. But literally, Matthew Stafford only has to play for 10 minutes, and he's making the same amount of money that Dak makes all year.
Well, Matthew Stafford was in the running for MVP last year too as well. But the thing is with it, you know, altogether, these players not going to get the basketball contracts because of the type of sport it is, and then it's so many people that's so less of star talent. Because if they try to do a strike or hold out, you know, and they offer some big time money, hell, I might strap up and get out there on the field, you know.
Well,
sign me a contract with $300,000.
You know, I know I got one or two good plays left in me. As far as Jordan Lewis, he's still questionable. Probably about the only guy that you won't see out there on the team. Well, we've talked about all the other stuff and everything else. Let's talk about the New York stinking Giants in this matchup on Sunday. What are your biggest worries, concerns, or keys for this game?
Well, the keys for the game, far as the Giants aspect, or are you talking about for the Dallas?
For the Dallas Cowboys. To get a win, what is the biggest thing we need to do?
Run the ball, control the clock, play carefree football game, and when we get to the red zone, money zone, score zone, or however you want to label it, we got to score 7. You know, because of the first game where we played last year, we got there to the sweet spot, but we couldn't hit it in. You know, so this time we got to get down there and score.
Yeah, guys got to hold on to the ball. We had, of course, Dez ended up dropping. We had a no catch in the end zone. Cole Beasley on the 5-yard line. You know, we had some opportunities, but we just didn't follow through on them, unfortunately. But I think, to me, the biggest key is actually, I think, La'el Collins on JPP. How that matchup goes, I think, is going to determine a hell of a lot for this game. And also Dez Bryant on Collins. If Dez can get open a few times early, I think it's going to open up the field because they're going to be worried about double covering him. And they're going to have to not be able to put 8 men in the box there. And I think that's going to open up some lanes for Zeke. And I think Zeke is going to come out here with a vengeance, with definitely that big chip on his shoulder. And I'm hoping that he just runs rough shot right up the gut and makes these Giants look like crap.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing to do. Giants got a big 4. You know, their front 4 is huge, massive, and the linebackers are just average at best. So the best way to beat this team is to get them going east and west and tire them out.
Right.
You know, maybe on the first quarter, do a little reverse swing with Switzer. Maybe you can also throw in that play with Dez Bryant. You know, get him the ball sooner than later, and then you'll see a whole different type of game. Especially if you get these guys moving east and west, this thing will be over with real quick.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not so worried about the Giant offense. I think with Odell being hurt, and although I think they might be playing a little cat and mouse to try and lull us to sleep with Odell, and that he is a little bit better than what they're putting on. You know, kind of a rope-a-dope, make you think, oh, well, he's not going to play and everything else. And he comes out Sunday, you know, bouncing around all over the place. But I still don't think he's going to be quite there. And I'm not sure that the rest of that offense is going to be that great. I'm still not sold on Brandon Marshall being a big difference maker for that offense, because I still say he's on the tail end side of his career. And the last couple of seasons, he has not shown a whole heck of a lot. He's one of those guys to me that's got a name and a reputation, but has already kind of stepped away from that, and it's not the same as it used to be.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to JP Drummer, 86. He's saying that I suck. But it's all good in the hood, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what, it must be one of those trolls out there. And I'm having a feeling that we're going to be losing a bunch of those giant trolls after Sunday. I could be wrong, but I think we're going to lose a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is what it is. But collectively, when you look at this team all together from A to Z, the few things that we just have to worry about just a little bit is just the secondary as far as lane assignment and zone measurements and things like that. But after, like, I'd say week 3 or week 4, these guys are going to gel together, and it's just going to be a good – I think we're going to have more turnovers than last year. We're going to be able to get more turnovers and things like that because these guys fly out to the ball.
Ricardo, I'm not sure what we're talking – what your comment is. Let's talk facts, and what the F is it with all of these bullshit? What are we not talking about as fact-wise? If you can clarify that one, I'd appreciate it.
Well, a lot of times these guys, they want to hear us say, well, Eli Manning is a technician of the ball. He's careful. He's going to be able to move the ball down the field. I can only go off what I see. 20 passes, 20 yards or more. And if they can use Google, they can go to Pro Football Focus, or they can just use Google and go to any site, and you'll see that he's on the bottom half of the league and passing plays 20 yards or more. So if you think that Eli's going to have the discipline and the temperament to play small ball, pass small, short routes and digs and things like that without having an established offensive line or running back.
Without a running game.
What kind of Kool-Aid are you sipping on? What you want us to say, he's going to be able to put up 400 yards?
Yeah, well, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I'll be honest with you. I still think our pass rush is going to be a lot better than people give us credit for. There's a lot of guys that have been playing well, but everybody's been focusing on Taco, and I think Taco will be okay. I think Taco still has a lot to learn. But quietly, Stephen Pye has actually had a really good preseason. Collins was a beast actually last year, his rookie year, and Topper is actually healthy. So we actually have a bunch of guys that are going to be able to be in there fresh in this rotation, and they may surprise some people out there. At least that's my thought, and that's what I've seen at least so far in the film. So we'll have to wait until we get on the field and go for live action. But I think they're going to have a field day on Eli. Could be wrong, indeed. But that's just my personal opinion. And let's be honest here. When you watch any show, whether it's ESPN or NFL Network, Fox Sports, whatever, it's basically people's opinions on what they see is going to happen. More times than right, because football is what it is, the greatest sport in the world that is totally unpredictable, it's going to be somebody's opinion. Some people's opinions are going to be better than others. I'm giving you my opinion on what I believe and what I see as far as football goes, and that's the same thing with Law Nation. I will put numbers behind it to back up my argument. I will use history and things that have happened in the past to try and back up my argument, but it's still kind of like your opinion on what you're going to think, because nobody has, as far as I know, do you know anybody that's actually always been 100% right predicting football?
Right, no one. But these are objective opinions. But it's not like the opinion like Stephen A. Smith saying that, okay, the Cowboys will be an accident waiting to happen. There's going to be somebody else suspended. We all know that somebody else is going to be suspended. His number is number 57. We know that, but he's already posturing, making it seem like he's smarter or knowledgeable of the situation. So when it happen, he's going to say it's going to happen sometime this year. We know number 57 is going to get suspended.
Yeah, we know.
So when it happened, he's going to be like, I told you the accident waiting to happen. This team is going to, and it's going to happen.
They can't stay off the weed. And, of course, he's got his song that still has Tony Romo's prominence. It's like, I need to put my suit back on, and I need to go ahead and shout out at Stephen A. Smith and bust his ass down. And just put it back in his place again. Because this shit is getting to be old, At least come out with a new song. You show up in Dallas and basically begging the Cowboys to show up because you're doing that shit for ratings. And that's the thing that really bugs me is every show now is just kind of like this. There aren't any real shows anymore that are actually talking about the sports more than trying to be a reality show.
Mm-hmm. Undisputed. Now they got another show. First Thing First.
Right.
Speak for Yourself. First Take. All these shows that they get these ex-football players. And hey, even Darren Woodson pissed me off a few times before on First Take. And I'm sitting there like, oh, come on, Darren Woodson. Now I see why you're not in the Hall of Fame. Because you just talking some crazy stuff right now. Come on, come back to earth, man. Come back to earth. And now he's kind of backpedaling a little bit now. But, man, I'm just sitting here like, these shows are just poison.
Yeah. And it really is. And it's like you've really lost real sports journalism and stuff. And it's all for ratings. But, you know, like I said, I'm old and I'm not necessarily into the whole fighting scene, this, that, and the other. Give me the facts. Let's talk about some real stuff and things out there. Give me the real news anytime. But you just don't get that much anymore.
No, you just don't get the honesty anymore, you know. But it is what it is at this point, right?
Yeah. So how's the move coming down there for you?
Oh, man, it's pretty smooth, man. So far, just trying to learn the area where I'm at. And then from there, trying to move every single article here is a major pain. But outside of that, it's a lovely place to be at, you know, Dallas.
Well, Bobby, I think a lot of people need to apologize to Zeke. Although, let's be honest with Zeke. Zeke isn't 100% innocent. Zeke has had some issues that have come out, you know, through this whole court system. This whole process has been ugly for everybody. The NFL looks like assholes. Tiffany has definitely made herself look like don't go anywhere near her. That bitch is crazy.
Right.
Okay. That's going to be the reputation that she has, you know, because if you know you're sleeping with a teammate and making sure he knows about that, yeah, okay, she's got some issues of her own. I'm not saying that Zeke did or did not have, you know, beat her or anything. I don't know. But in a court of law, you can't prove jack. And if she is not a credible witness, and she's the only witness that we have. Zeke, you know, you hear about now drug use in college and her getting pregnant and all this stuff. Everybody looks bad. But I hope that this is a learning experience for Zeke Elliott. And Zeke says, you know what? I got to watch everything I do. I got a target on my back. You know, if he ends up walking away with no suspension or anything like that, you got to realize I just dodged a bullet. And I got to make sure I don't let anything look like it might be anything. And so as far as him getting an apology from anybody, you can hold your breath on that one if you want to, but you're going to turn blue in the face because you're never going to hear an apology from any of the talking heads. They did the same thing to Dez Bryant, running him through, talking about a tape out there that was 10 times worse than Ray Rice. These guys will just talk and say whatever's on their damn mind, whether it's right or wrong, and never have to atone for it. But that kind of drives me crazy.
Yeah, so they're not going to say anything about, hey, we apologize for misleading the information out there. They're not going to do that.
No, Molly is sexy. Yes, she is actually a very, very beautiful person. And I got to tell you, I actually had lunch with her one time, and I know your people are like, yeah, right, you're full of crap. You guys always say I'm full of crap, but she looks as good in person, if not better, than even on the show. However, the stuff she was saying about Zeke and everything else, she was definitely in the wrong.
Her fandom got in the way, right?
She actually does a whole lot of work with human trafficking. She's an advocate for women's rights and things like that, and she is really, really there. So I kind of understand what her point of view was on there and stuff. But to me, we are always quick to rush to judgment, and we always assume if it's said by the NFL or if it's said by the police that everybody says, oh, yeah, it's definitely, got to be true until you find out all the facts and everything else. And I still say, when you hear all the stuff that came out that the NFLPA put on a hell of a case. The NFLPA bitch slapped the NFL. When you hear all this stuff, to me, if I were the NFL, I'd be kind of like, this looks really bad. I'm not sure if this is winnable. Maybe they've got some tricks up their sleeve. I don't know, but it definitely doesn't look good to me for the NFL's case.
A lot of pandering going, and we can only imagine what the next collective bargain going to do. So, I mean, they should look at the thing long term. You know, they should say, hey, this is a situation where we're going to have to work together in order to get something out of it. Why not just be a little bit more flexible instead of just being a court of public opinion and all that, you know?
Dan Ricardo, no, I didn't motorboat her. I had lunch with her, with my wife. Thank you very much. And I am true to my wife. Jeez, and like Molly, and on top of that, like Molly be interested in my old ass. Let's get real here, guys. Yeah. You guys are really in the gutter tonight. Jeez. Giants fans will be like crackheads after the game. You won't see them for days. Oh. Oh man, they're getting kind of cold out here tonight, my man. Oh man.
Yeah, they are wild, man.
Well, I think everybody's excited about having the game on. You know, I got started actually tonight getting ready for the game. I got some friends that are coming over to watch the game and stuff. I've got a couple of pork shoulders that I'm going to start smoking tomorrow evening for the game. Man, I cannot wait. It's going to be football from 1 o'clock until I pass the F out. I just can't wait.
Who you got for the Eagles versus Redskins?
I think the Eagles going to take that one. I think the Redskins are really going to be bad. I think losing Pierre Garcon and Sean Jackson is really going to hurt Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins did not look that good in preseason. And Kirk Cousins, you know, always has a brain fart or two that ends up letting them down.
But you know, Kirk Cousins said that God spoken to him and said that he can only play one game, 1 year, sign for 1 year at a time.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think actually that was with the Washington Redskins. That was the best move because he got paid. Because between last year and this year, he's made $45 million. And look what will happen if he makes it through this year. And it doesn't have to be spectacular because there's a lack of quarterbacks out there. If the Redskins try to franchise tag him again, it's going to cost them probably around $38 million.
Right.
But think about that.
Shooting themselves in the foot every
time. After Carr got his contract, the price went up. After Matthew Stafford got his contract, the price is going up, and so it's going to continue to keep. It's not going to go down. And if the Redskins don't want to pay him next year, well, that's fine. Somebody will. I know the 49ers would love to have him. You look around the NFL. How many decent quarterbacks are there?
A handful. But it's just something that we're going to have to think about, 3 years from now or maybe 4 years from now as far as Dak Prescott?
Oh, no. Well, this is the second year. We got 2 years left on his contract. So
2 years.
Really, the end of next year, we have to really start thinking about it, about paying him. But that's the good thing, though. Here's the thing. Right now, we're paying him peanuts. Next year, we're paying him peanuts. That gives us the opportunity to get, like Zach Martin's contract. We've got some room still on our cap, and we've got $15 million right now. And, think about next year, we're going to be dumping some more. The cap's going to go up. So we'll be okay signing him to a big deal in a couple of years. We're actually in a fantastic space. Believe it or not, I think we are 12th in the NFL right now with cap space.
But my only conundrum with that, name me the last quarterback with a big mega contract that won it all.
Well, Tom Brady did, but Tom Brady's contract, he kept giving money back.
He getting paid peanuts. He getting paid $14 million a year. He getting paid peanuts.
But at the time when he signed his, it was one of the bigger contracts at that point. But you're right about that, because the problem with that is then you have a problem with keeping other players on the field. And see, that's where Seattle built their team, because Russell Wilson wasn't a high-round draft pick. They were paying him peanuts, so they were able to keep a lot of the really good players and sign other good ones. Now, since he has gotten his big contract, you notice how they've lost some more players, and they haven't been able to bring in as much talent as they would like to. And because you pay a quarterback that kind of money, there ain't that much money to go around.
But, boy, they got a team now as far as their defense. 8 out of the 11 players are Pro Bowlers. So we're going to see what type of team they're going to look like Sunday. But they looking like, Legion of Boom. Look like they back.
You need my dark recipes. What dark recipes? I'm trying to Yeah, I've got my recipe list on the Joe Boo's page there. I'm going to be doing some pork barbecue. I'll add that one to the list this weekend and stuff as I'm doing that. But I don't know about dark recipes that we got. What am I cooking for Sunday? Okay, listen. Guys, I need your help because we have to spread the mojo for the Cowboys, okay? So you need to make sure you get some chicken wings because Joe Boo's got to have chicken wings. Make sure you get your cigars. You don't have to smoke them now because smoking is bad for you. And if you're over age, get yourself a shot glass and some rum. And if the game is in doubt or the dang game is on the line, you got to take that shot of rum and start talking about that mojo. But what I'm going to be cooking, of course, I always have chicken wings. We're going to have tacos for a good old taco. And we're going to have some pulled pork sliders to go with it. So, and of course, maybe a pot of chili. So we're definitely going to be throwing down. Hopefully, I won't be in a food coma before the game starts.
Well, Ricardo, I can cook, I can throw down. It's just the fact that I'm in a new area. I don't have my material here. But, yeah, but if Mark Holmes got some good recipes, I would definitely look them up.
Man, I tell you what, I wish I had me a boatload of money because I would be, I wish I were there in Dallas, man. God, I wish I were there for that Sunday night game. I wish I could be there barbecuing outside, tailgating, getting ready for the game.
It's going to be the life, man. Shout out to How About Them Cowboys for making the donation. But he talking about the Achilles of Eric Berry. What's your thoughts on that?
You know what? Every player is one play away from being off the season. Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt their team, without a doubt. When you lose a safety of his stature, it's definitely going to hurt. But you know that's football. Football's a game of attrition. Next man up, as they say.
Yes, indeed. So hopefully he can bounce back next year and do his thing because I know he signed a huge contract. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Ben McAdoo. You know, Ben has gotten underneath my skin. I'm trying to understand if he's trying to convince everybody else how great the Giants are, or if he's trying to convince the Giants how great they are. Because first we had him talking about it doesn't matter who you have a running back out there, you know, if there's no holes to run. Okay, so we got that. Then it was the good old, if you know who they have in their secondary playing, let me know, comment.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday it was kind of like, oh, man, we had such a spirited practice. You know, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
Mm-hmm.
But he said if we have spirited practices like this in December and January and February, we'll be okay. And I was like, wait. Did he just say they're going to the Super Bowl?
Right.
You're talking about practice in February? Are you talking about Super Bowl, Ben? Really?
Yeah, I'm speaking his wisdom teeth. But the thing is with him is that he kind of sounds like Rex Ryan a little bit. You need to tone it down.
Yeah, he did. We're talking some smack. And then here's what really amazes me, because if this had come out of a Dallas Cowboys player's mouth, I believe they would have arrested him. But Landon Collins basically said, yeah, I was trying to break Carson Wentz's ribs. I was trying to give him a little extra something. He just got out, you know, he ducked and got out of the way, but I was going to light him up and knock him out of the game for sure. And I was kind of like, wait a minute. Did you just say you were headhunting? Did you just say that you were going to intentionally try to take him out of the game and made sure that you gave him a little extra something? Because if a Dallas Cowboy player said something like that, you know there'd been an investigation.
Oh, yeah. It'd been Bounty Gate all over again, 2.0.
I mean, you realize that they're now investigating Michael Irvin too, right?
Silly, man.
Okay.
Leave the playmaker alone.
NFL,
man.
he no longer plays in the NFL, in case you didn't get the memo. But the police department did a DNA test, and there's nothing there, but they're investigating. And then this is the kicker for me, that they now went back and said, oh, Josh Brown, we're going to suspend you for 6 more games.
Silly, man. It's silly, man.
It's like, he's not even on the team. He's not even on the team. And actually, you should be suspending him if you're going to do that for 5 games, because he already had 1. So now actually you're doing 7. So now you just look like you can't even count now.
It's crazy.
And I think that's because they're trying to make the case that, well, since 2014, we've been giving out 6-game suspensions. Now, granted, that one got changed, but we went ahead and made it retroactive. Man, get out of here with that crap. But, oh my goodness, it is 10 o'clock already. I'm going to give you the last word here tonight, my man.
Hey, man, I've been saying it before, and I'm going to say it again. Sunday night, 31-14, Cowboys all day, Cowboys Nation. Salute to everybody out there in the chat box. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in to the Mark Holmes and Joe Boo Sports Report. We live, we ready, we lit, and we're going to get it live, guys.
And make sure you guys subscribe to Law Nation, man. Best channel on YouTube, man. 31-14. So you think they're going to get 2 touchdowns? I think they're actually going to get field goals more than anything else. I'll give them 13 points, but I'll take your 31. Guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in and supporting the channel. I set up some more of the shirts and stuff this morning. So any of you guys that want some more shirts, be sure to just go to the website right up here. You can order shot glasses and you can order shirts as well to help spread the mojo. And all the money goes back into the show. And I appreciate all the help that you guys have given me and all the support and everything else. And thank God, football is here. 2 nights from now, we will be watching football right here and having a great time. We'll live stream about 30 minutes before the game. We'll hit you at halftime, and we'll do a post-game show. So I will see you guys there, and hopefully we'll only have good news from here on out with our Dallas Cowboys. And with that, I will see you guys soon. Keep spreading the mojo.